crying wolf cub pleads for help. What happened next will shock you. The Montana wilderness stretched out like an emerald ocean, its rolling hills and towering pines whispering secrets in the wind. A young wolf cub, barely 6 months old, stumbled through the undergrowth, his whimpers echoing through the vast expanse. His name was Whisper, a fitting moniker for the soft, almost inaudible cries that escaped his trembling lips. Separated from his pack during a chaotic hunt, Whisper was lost, alone in a world that was both wondrous and terrifying. The towering trees, once familiar landmarks, now loomed like menacing giants, their shadows concealing unseen dangers. The familiar sense of his family, his pack, were gone, replaced by the unfamiliar odors of unfamiliar territory. Fear gnawed at his young heart, a constant companion to the hunger pangs that twisted his belly. He had never been alone before, never experienced the vulnerability of isolation, the chilling realization that he was a small, fragile creature in a world filled with predators. He whimpered again, his cry a desperate plea for his mother, his siblings, the comforting presence of his pack. But the only response was the echo of his own voice, a haunting reminder of his solitude. He stumbled onward, his paws sinking into the soft earth, his fur catching on thorny bushes, his small body weary from the unfamiliar exertion. He longed for the familiar warmth of his den, the comforting scent of his mother's fur, the playful nips of his siblings. But the wilderness offered no solace, only a relentless reminder of his vulnerability. The sun, a fiery orb in the vast Montana sky, beat down mercilessly, its heat sapping his energy, his thirst a constant torment. He lapped at the muddy puddles he encountered, the water offering a momentary relief, but his hunger remained, a gnawing ache that grew with each passing hour. He searched for food, his nose twitching, his instincts guiding him towards the faint scent of prey. But the forest, once a bountiful provider for his pack, now seemed barren, its creatures elusive, its secrets hidden from his inexperienced senses. He stumbled upon a deer carcass, its flesh picked clean by scavengers, its bones a stark reminder of the harsh realities of survival. He sniffed at the remains, his hunger pangs intensifying, but there was nothing left, only the lingering scent of death and decay. Disheartened, he continued his journey, his whimpers growing weaker, his steps faltering. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the landscape, painting the forest in hues of purple and orange. The air grew cooler, the silence of the wilderness deepening, the approaching darkness a menacing presence. Whisper, his small body trembling with exhaustion and fear, sought shelter beneath a towering pine, its thick branches offering a semblance of protection from the encroaching night. He curled into a ball, his tail tucked between his legs, his eyes darting nervously into the shadows, his ears attuned to every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig. He was alone, lost in the vast wilderness, his fate uncertain, his survival hanging precariously in the balance. But even in the depths of his despair, a spark of hope flickered within him, a primal instinct that whispered of resilience, of the enduring strength of his wolf spirit, of the possibility of a new dawn. The first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and orange, casting a soft glow over the Montana wilderness. Megan, her breath misting in the crisp morning air, emerged from her tent, her senses alert, her eyes scanning the landscape. A wildlife biologist with a passion for the untamed beauty of the American West, Megan had dedicated her life to studying and protecting the creatures that roamed these lands. Her research focused on the elusive wolf packs that inhabited the remote corners of Montana, their presence a vital part of the ecosystem, their survival a testament to the delicate balance of nature. She had spent weeks tracking a particular pack, her days filled with the thrill of discovery, her nights spent under the canopy of stars, her heart attuned to the rhythm of the wild. Her camera, her constant companion, had captured the wolves in their natural habitat, their majestic forms a testament to their power and grace. On this particular morning, her senses were drawn to a sound that pierced the tranquility of the dawn, a soft whimper, a cry of distress that echoed through the stillness of the forest. She paused, her trained ears identifying the source as a young wolf cub, its cries carrying a note of fear and vulnerability. Her heart ached for the lost creature, its whimpers a stark contrast to the confident howls of the pack she had been tracking. She knew that a lone cub, separated from its family, faced a perilous existence in the wild, its survival threatened by predators, hunger, and the harsh elements. With a surge of compassion, she set off in the direction of the cries, her footsteps guided by her knowledge of the terrain, her senses alert for any sign of the distressed cub. She moved cautiously, her movements a delicate dance between her desire to help and her respect for the wildness of the creature she sought. She spotted him huddled beneath a towering pine, his small form barely visible amidst the undergrowth. He was a beautiful creature, his fur a mix of gray and brown, his eyes wide with fear, his whimpers a heartbreaking plea for help. Megan, her heart melting at the sight of his vulnerability, knelt down, her voice soft and reassuring. "Hello, little one," she whispered, her words carried on the gentle breeze. "Don't be afraid. I'm here to help." The cub, his instincts warning him of the potential danger of human presence, cowered further into the shadows, his whimpers growing louder, his body trembling with fear. Megan, her knowledge of animal behavior guiding her actions, maintained a safe distance, her movements slow and deliberate. She reached into her backpack, retrieving a small piece of dried meat, an offering of peace, a gesture of goodwill. She tossed it towards the cub, her voice gentle and encouraging. "Here you go, little one," she said. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The cub, his hunger overriding his fear, cautiously approached the meat. He sniffed it tentatively, his nose twitching, his senses confirming its edibility. He devoured it quickly, his tail wagging slightly in gratitude. Megan, encouraged by his response, offered another piece of meat, her smile widening as she witnessed his growing trust. She spoke to him softly, her voice a calming presence in the wilderness, her words weaving a tapestry of compassion and understanding. The cub, his initial fear gradually subsiding, inched closer, his eyes fixed on Megan's face, his whimpers softening into soft whines. He sensed her kindness, her genuine concern for his well-being, a stark contrast to the harsh realities he had encountered in his short life. Megan, her heart filled with a newfound purpose, knew she couldn't leave him to fend for himself. She had to help, to protect him, to offer him a chance at survival. But she also knew that she had to tread carefully, to respect his wild nature, to avoid causing further distress. She made a decision that would challenge her beliefs, her understanding of the boundaries between humans and wild animals, a decision that would forever alter the course of her life and the life of the crying wolf cub. The sun climbed higher, casting its golden rays through the canopy of trees, dappling the forest floor with light and shadow. Megan, her patience unwavering, maintained her position a few feet from Whisper, her voice a gentle murmur in the quiet wilderness. She spoke to him of the forest, its secrets and wonders, her words painting vivid images of the life he knew, the pack he longed for. She described the hunt, the thrill of the chase, the camaraderie of the pack, the comforting presence of his mother and siblings. Whisper, his fear gradually subsiding, listened intently, his head cocked, his ears twitching, his eyes fixed on her face. He sensed the truth in her words, the genuine affection for the creatures she studied, the respect she held for the wild. He inched closer, his movements hesitant, his body still tense, but his curiosity overcoming his fear. He sniffed the air, catching her scent, a mix of fresh earth, pine needles, and something unfamiliar yet comforting. Megan, sensing his growing trust, held out her hand, palm open, a gesture of peace and invitation. Whisper, his instincts battling his curiosity, hesitated, his eyes darting between her hand and her face. He took a tentative step forward, his paw sinking into the soft earth, his body trembling slightly. He sniffed her hand cautiously, his whiskers brushing against her skin, his warm breath tickling her palm. Megan held her breath, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and hope. She had worked with wolves before, observed them from afar, studied their behavior, but she had never experienced such a close encounter with a wild cub. Whisper, his senses confirming her gentle intentions, licked her hand, his rough tongue a surprising contrast to his timid demeanor. Megan, her heart melting at his touch, felt a surge of compassion, a deep connection to this vulnerable creature. She slowly moved her hand, gently stroking his fur, her touch light and reassuring. Whisper leaned into her touch, his body relaxing, his whimpers fading into soft sighs of contentment. The trust, fragile yet undeniable, had been established. Megan, her heart filled with a newfound purpose, knew she couldn't abandon this cub, couldn't leave him to face the perils of the wilderness alone. She had to help, to protect him, to offer him a chance at survival. But as she gazed into his trusting eyes, she also recognized the wildness within him, the instinctual drive that would eventually lead him back to his pack, back to the life he was meant to live. She knew that her role was temporary, a bridge between his vulnerability and his destiny. She would care for him, nurture him, and guide him towards the path that would lead him back to his family. And in doing so, she would learn valuable lessons about the interconnectedness of all living beings, the delicate balance of nature, and the enduring power of compassion. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the forest floor, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Megan, her mind awhirl with conflicting thoughts, sat beside Whisper, her hand gently stroking his fur. The cub, exhausted from the day's events, dozed peacefully, his soft snores a comforting counterpoint to the symphony of the wilderness. Megan's heart was torn. She had grown attached to Whisper, his vulnerability and trust awakening a maternal instinct within her. She longed to protect him, to shield him from the harsh realities of the wild, to offer him a safe haven in her care. But she was also a scientist, a wildlife biologist with a deep respect for the natural order, the delicate balance of the ecosystem. She knew that Whisper belonged in the wild with his pack, where he could learn the ways of his kind, fulfill his role in the intricate tapestry of life. She weighed the options, her mind a battlefield of conflicting emotions and rational considerations. On one hand, she couldn't bear the thought of leaving Whisper to fend for himself, his survival uncertain, his vulnerability a constant threat. On the other hand, she knew that interfering with nature could have unintended consequences, disrupting the delicate balance, potentially harming the very creature she sought to protect. She considered contacting the local wildlife authorities, reporting the lost cub, seeking their guidance. But she hesitated, unsure of their response, their protocols, their ability to reunite Whisper with his pack. She had heard stories of cubs being taken to sanctuaries, their wild instincts dulled by human intervention, their chances of reintegration into their natural habitat diminished. She looked at Whisper, his small form curled into a ball, his breathing soft and steady, his trust in her evident in his peaceful slumber. She couldn't abandon him, not now, not when he needed her most. She made a decision guided by her compassion, her instincts, her deep-seated belief in the resilience of nature. She would care for Whisper temporarily, providing him with shelter, food, and protection until she could find a way to reunite him with his pack. She would use her knowledge of wolf behavior, her tracking skills, her understanding of the wilderness, to locate his family. She would be his guardian, his protector, his bridge between vulnerability and belonging. She gently lifted Whisper, his small body light in her arms, his warmth a comforting presence against her chest. She carried him towards her research cabin, a small wooden structure nestled deep within the forest, a haven of solitude and scientific observation. As she entered the cabin, its familiar scent of pine needles and wood smoke filling her senses, she felt a sense of purpose, a determination to protect this vulnerable creature, to guide him back to his rightful place in the wild. She placed him gently on a soft blanket, his whimpers stirring him from his sleep, his eyes meeting hers with a questioning gaze. "It's okay. Whisper," she murmured, her voice a soothing balm in the quiet cabin. "You're safe now. I'm here to help you." Whisper, his trust in her unwavering, nuzzled her hand, his soft fur brushing against her skin, his gesture a silent promise of the bond they would forge, the journey they would share, the unexpected adventure that lay ahead. The cabin, usually a solitary haven for Megan's research, was transformed by Whisper's presence. The quiet space, filled with the tools of her trade maps, field guides, and recording equipment, now echoed with the soft patting of paws and the occasional playful yelp. Megan, her days once dedicated to solitary observation and data collection, now revolved around the care of her unexpected charge. She prepared meals of cooked meat and foraged berries, marveling at Whisper's ravenous appetite, his growing strength evident in his playful pounces and energetic explorations of the cabin. She fashioned a makeshift den for him from blankets and pillows, creating a cozy haven where he could rest and feel secure. She spent hours observing him, her scientist's eye capturing his every move, her heart warming at his growing trust and affection. She would talk to him, her voice a gentle murmur in the quiet cabin, sharing stories of her research, her fascination with wolves, her respect for their intelligence and social complexity. Whisper would listen intently, his head cocked, his ears twitching, his eyes reflecting a growing understanding. He would follow her around the cabin, his tail wagging, his playful nips a gentle reminder of his presence. He would curl up at her feet as she worked at her desk, his soft snores a comforting counterpoint to the tapping of her keyboard. He would greet her with enthusiastic yelps and playful pounces when she returned from her forays into the forest, his joy at her presence a balm to her solitary soul. Megan, her heart touched by his unconditional love, found herself questioning her initial reservations about interfering with nature. She had always maintained a professional distance from the animals she studied, her role as an observer, a recorder of their behavior. But Whisper had breached those boundaries, his vulnerability and trust forging a connection that transcended her scientific objectivity. She found herself caring for him not just as a biologist, but as a caregiver, a protector, a friend. She would brush his fur, her touch gentle and reassuring, her voice soothing and comforting. She would play with him, their games a mix of gentle tumbles and playful chases around the cabin. She would even sing to him, her voice soft and melodic, her songs weaving tales of the forest, of the moon and the stars, of the wolves that roamed the wilderness. Whisper would listen intently, his head cocked, his eyes filled with a gentle wonder. Their bond deepened with each passing day, their shared experiences weaving a tapestry of trust and affection. Megan, her heart filled with a newfound warmth, realized that Whisper had become more than just a research subject. He was a companion, a friend, a furry soulmate who had brought unexpected joy and purpose to her solitary life. And as she watched him play in the sun-drenched meadow outside her cabin, his youthful energy a testament to her care, she knew that their connection, forged in the heart of the wilderness, would forever hold a special place in her heart. The days turned into weeks, and Whisper thrived under Megan's care. He grew stronger, his fur becoming sleek and glossy, his eyes sparkling with a playful curiosity. He explored the meadows surrounding the cabin with boundless energy, chasing butterflies, pouncing on grasshoppers, his joyful barks echoing through the tranquil landscape. Megan, her heart warmed by his vitality, continued to nurture him, her days a blend of scientific observation and maternal care. She documented his growth, his behavior, his interactions with the natural world, her notes filled with observations and reflections on the resilience of the wolf spirit. But her scientific curiosity was now intertwined with a deeper concern, a need to understand the circumstances that had led to Whisper's separation from his pack. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to his story, that his abandonment was not a natural occurrence. She ventured deeper into the wilderness, her footsteps tracing the paths Whisper had taken, her eyes scanning the landscape for any clues. She discovered remnants of human activity, discarded food wrappers, cigarette butts, footprints that were distinctly not those of a wolf. Her suspicions grew, her scientific mind piecing together the puzzle. She recalled reports of illegal poaching activities in the area, whispers of hunters seeking to profit from the lucrative wolf fur trade. Could Whisper have been separated from his pack during a poaching incident? Had his family been victims of human cruelty? The thought ignited a fire within her, a fierce determination to uncover the truth, to protect the remaining wolves in the area, to ensure that Whisper's story was not repeated. She contacted the local wildlife authorities, sharing her concerns, her observations, her suspicions. The authorities, intrigued by her report, launched an investigation, their resources and expertise adding weight to her solitary pursuit. They deployed tracking dogs, their keen noses sniffing out the trails of human activity, their barks echoing through the wilderness, a warning to those who dared to disrupt the delicate balance of nature. Megan, her scientific curiosity now fueled by a sense of justice, joined the investigation, her knowledge of the terrain and her understanding of wolf behavior proving invaluable. She tracked the poachers' movements, her footsteps following their trail of destruction, her heart aching at the thought of the harm they had inflicted on the wolf population. She discovered snares hidden in the undergrowth, their cruel traps designed to capture and maim unsuspecting animals. She found discarded wolf pelts, their once vibrant fur now lifeless and cold, a testament to the senseless greed that drove the poachers. Her determination to bring them to justice grew stronger with each discovery, her compassion for the wolves fueling her every step. She knew that she was risking her own safety, venturing into the dangerous territory of those who operated outside the law. But she refused to back down, her commitment to protecting the wolves, to honoring Whisper's story, unwavering. And as she followed the poacher's trail deeper into the wilderness, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination, she knew that she was not just a scientist, a researcher, an observer. She was a protector, a guardian, a voice for the voiceless, her actions a testament to the enduring power of compassion and the unwavering spirit of those who fight for the preservation of the wild. The trail led Megan deeper into the heart of the wilderness, the terrain growing more rugged, the forest denser, the silence broken only by the crunch of her boots on the forest floor and the pounding of her heart in her chest. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that danced and distorted in the fading light, transforming familiar landmarks into eerie silhouettes. Megan, her senses heightened, her instincts on high alert, pressed on, her determination fueled by a mix of fear and adrenaline. She clutched her camera bag, its familiar weight a comforting presence, its contents now a potential weapon against the unknown dangers that lay ahead. She had been tracking the poachers for days, their trail leading her deeper into their territory, their presence a growing threat in the quiet solitude of the wilderness. She had witnessed their handiwork, the cruel snares, the discarded pelts, the silent testament to their disregard for life. She knew she was taking a risk, venturing into their domain, her presence a potential disruption to their illegal activities. But she couldn't turn back, not now, not when the fate of the wolf pack, the safety of Whisper's family, hung in the balance. She stumbled upon their campsite, a crude clearing hidden amidst a thicket of pines. A campfire crackled in the center, its flames casting dancing shadows on the surrounding trees, its smoke a pungent intrusion in the crisp mountain air. Two men, their faces weathered and rough, sat huddled around the fire, their voices gruff and coarse as they discussed their plans for the next day's hunt. Their rifles, gleaming menacingly in the firelight, lay propped against a nearby tree, their presence a chilling reminder of the danger Megan faced. She crouched behind a thicket of bushes, her heart pounding in her chest, her breath catching in her throat. She had to remain unseen, unheard, her presence a secret observer, her camera lens a silent witness to their illegal activities. She raised her camera, its lens capturing the scene, the men's faces illuminated by the firelight, their expressions a mix of greed and indifference. She zoomed in, focusing on their rifles, their hunting gear, the evidence that would expose their crimes, bring them to justice. But as she adjusted the focus, a twig snapped beneath her foot, the sound a sharp intrusion in the quiet night. The men's heads snapped up, their eyes scanning the darkness, their voices hushed with suspicion. "Did you hear that?" One of them growled, his hand reaching for his rifle. "Yeah," the other replied, his voice tense. "Someone's out there." Megan's heart pounded in her chest, her body frozen in fear. She had been discovered, her presence a threat to their illegal operation. She knew she had to escape, to disappear back into the shadows before they found her. But as she turned to flee, a low growl echoed through the clearing, a sound that sent shivers down her spine. It was Whisper, his presence a surprise, his instincts guiding him to her side, his loyalty unwavering. He emerged from the darkness, his form a silhouette against the firelight, his eyes gleaming with a fierce protectiveness. He growled again, his teeth bared, his body poised to defend his human companion. The men, startled by the sudden appearance of the wolf, their rifles now pointed in his direction, hesitated. They recognized the danger, the wildness in his eyes, the power in his stance. Whisper, sensing their fear, advanced, his growls growing louder, his presence a formidable threat. The men, their courage faltering, backed away, their eyes darting between the wolf and the shadows that concealed Megan. They retreated, their footsteps crunching on the forest floor, their voices fading into the distance. Whisper, his mission accomplished, turned towards Megan, his eyes softening, his tail wagging gently. Megan, her heart filled with gratitude and awe, emerged from her hiding place, her hands reaching out to embrace her protector. "Whisper," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "You saved me." Whisper, his loyalty unwavering, licked her face, his rough tongue a testament to their bond, his presence a reminder of the unexpected connections that could be forged in the heart of the wilderness. The encounter with the poachers, though terrifying, had solidified the bond between Megan and Whisper. It had also ignited a fierce determination within her to protect the wolves, to ensure their survival in the face of human greed and indifference. With the poachers apprehended and their illegal operation dismantled, Megan turned her attention to reuniting Whisper with his pack. She knew that he belonged in the wild, with his family, where he could learn the ways of his kind, fulfill his role in the intricate tapestry of life. She used her knowledge of wolf behavior, her tracking skills honed by years of observation and research, to locate the pack. She followed their trail through the dense forests, her senses alert for any sign of their presence. She listened for their howls, their voices carrying messages across the vast wilderness, their calls a symphony of belonging and connection. She discovered their den, a hidden haven nestled amidst a rocky outcrop, its entrance guarded by a vigilant alpha female, her eyes gleaming with a fierce protectiveness. Megan, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and apprehension, approached cautiously, her voice a soft whisper in the quiet wilderness. "I have someone who belongs with you," she said, her words carried on the gentle breeze. A lost cub, separated from his family. The alpha female, her gaze intense, her body tense, assessed Megan with a discerning eye. She sensed no threat, only a genuine concern for the well-being of one of her own. She stepped aside, allowing Megan to enter the den, her trust a testament to the shared understanding between human and wolf. Whisper, his senses alert to the familiar scent of his pack, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation, emerged from behind Megan. He whimpered softly, his tail wagging tentatively, his eyes searching for the familiar forms of his family. A chorus of joyful yelps and excited barks erupted from the den as Whisper's siblings recognized him, their bodies a flurry of fur and wagging tails as they rushed to greet him. His mother, her eyes filled with a maternal love that transcended any language, embraced him, her warm tongue licking his fur, her soft whimpers a symphony of relief and joy. The reunion was a symphony of emotions, a tapestry of sounds and scents that spoke of belonging, of family, of the deep-rooted connections that bound the wolf pack together. Megan, her heart swelling with a bittersweet joy, watched the scene unfold, her tears a testament to the power of love and the resilience of the wild spirit. She knew that her role in Whisper's life had come to an end, that he had found his rightful place in the world, that his journey had come full circle. She had been his protector, his guardian, his bridge between vulnerability and belonging. And now it was time to let him go, to allow him to embrace his destiny, to fulfill his role in the intricate tapestry of life. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, casting long shadows across the Montana wilderness. Megan, her heart heavy with a mix of joy and sadness, stood at the entrance of the wolf den, her gaze fixed on Whisper, his form now blending seamlessly with his pack. He had grown in the weeks since their first encounter, his once timid demeanor replaced by a confident swagger, his playful nips now a playful challenge to his siblings, his howls joining the chorus of the pack's evening serenade. He was home, where he belonged, his wild spirit awakened, his role in the intricate dance of life restored. Megan, her camera capturing the poignant scene, her lens focusing on Whisper's every move, felt a tear trace a path down her cheek. She had nurtured him, protected him, and guided him back to his family, her heart swelling with a maternal pride that transcended the boundaries of species. But she also knew that it was time to say goodbye, to release him fully into the wild, to allow him to embrace his destiny. She had played her part, her human intervention a temporary bridge between vulnerability and belonging, her compassion a catalyst for his return to the wild. She whispered a silent farewell, her words carried on the gentle breeze, her emotions a mix of gratitude and loss. She thanked him for the lessons he had taught her, the insights into the wolf spirit, the reminder of the interconnectedness of all living beings. She watched as he interacted with his pack, his playful nips and joyful yelps a testament to his reintegration, his howls joining the chorus of his family, his voice a harmonious addition to the symphony of the wild. She turned to leave, her footsteps echoing softly on the forest floor, her heart heavy but her spirit lifted by the experience. She had witnessed the resilience of nature, the power of instinct, the enduring strength of family bonds. She had played a small part in a larger story, a story of survival, of connection, of the delicate balance that existed between humans and the wild. And as she walked away, the fading light casting long shadows on her path, she knew that she would carry the memory of Whisper, his vulnerability, his trust, his wild spirit, forever in her heart. He had changed her, opened her eyes to a deeper understanding of the natural world, the intricate web of life that connected all creatures, great and small. He had reminded her of the importance of compassion, of the responsibility humans had to protect the delicate balance of nature, to ensure that future generations could experience the wonder and awe of the wild. And as she emerged from the forest, the vast expanse of the Montana sky filled with twinkling stars, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her dedication to her work as a wildlife biologist strengthened by her encounter with Whisper, her life forever touched by the crying wolf cub who had led her on an unexpected journey of discovery and connection. The experience with Whisper ignited a fire within Megan, a passion for conservation that burned brighter than ever before. She returned to her research with a renewed vigor, her observations now infused with a deeper understanding of the intricate connections within the wolf pack, the delicate balance of the ecosystem. She documented her findings with meticulous detail, her reports filled with insights into wolf behavior, their social dynamics, their role in maintaining the health of the forest. She presented her research at conferences, her voice a passionate advocate for the protection of these majestic creatures, her words weaving a tapestry of scientific knowledge and heartfelt connection. She became a sought-after speaker, her presentations captivating audiences with her stories of Whisper, her encounters with the wolf pack, her first-hand experiences that brought the complexities of the wild to life. She inspired students with her passion for science, her dedication to conservation, her unwavering belief in the power of human intervention to protect the natural world. She collaborated with local communities, her expertise guiding their efforts to coexist with wolves, to mitigate conflicts, to ensure the preservation of their habitat. She worked with ranchers, her understanding of wolf behavior helping them to protect their livestock, her solutions promoting a harmonious balance between human needs and the needs of the wild. She became a voice for the voiceless, her advocacy reaching the halls of government, her influence shaping policies that protected wolves and their habitat. She challenged outdated notions, dispelled myths, and educated the public about the vital role wolves played in maintaining the health of the ecosystem. Her work extended beyond the boundaries of Montana, her influence reaching across the nation, her passion for conservation inspiring others to join the fight to protect wildlife. She became a symbol of hope, a reminder that one person's actions could make a difference, that the collective power of human compassion could create a brighter future for all creatures, great and small. And as she continued her work, her footsteps tracing the trails of the wilderness, her camera capturing the beauty of the wild, her voice echoing through the halls of academia and government, she carried with her the memory of Whisper, the crying wolf cub who had touched her heart, awakened her spirit, and ignited her passion for conservation. His legacy lived on in her work, in her dedication to protecting the wolves, in her unwavering belief in the power of human connection to heal the wounds of the past and create a future where humans and animals could coexist in harmony, their lives intertwined in the intricate tapestry of life.